Hello, my friends. Welcome back to Speak English Daily. I'm Emma, and I'm really happy you're here today. So, let me ask you something, and please be honest with yourself. Do you study English every day, but when it's time to speak, nothing comes out? Maybe you watch videos like this one. You read books. You know the grammar rules. But when someone asks you a question in English, your mind just goes blank. Or maybe you do know what to say. The words are right there in your head, but your mouth won't move. Your heart starts beating faster, and you end up saying nothing. If this sounds like you, I want you to know something important. This is not your fault. You're not slow. You're not stupid. Your brain is fine. What's happening is something we call a learning block. And today, we're going to talk about what that is, why it happens, and most importantly, how to break it. Not just ideas, not just motivation. I'm going to give you real steps you can use, starting today, in the next 10 minutes. So get comfortable, maybe grab a coffee or tea, and let's have a real talk about learning English. Sound good? Let's start. So, what is a learning block? I like to think of it this way. Imagine you're walking down a road. It's a beautiful day. You know where you're going. You're feeling good. And then suddenly, there's this huge stone in the middle of the road. You try to walk around it. Can't. There are walls on both sides. You try to push it. Too heavy. So what do? You just stop. You sit down and you start thinking, maybe I can't reach that place. That's what a learning block feels like. It's not a real thing, but it feels very real, doesn't it? Let me tell you about 3 students I helped, and I think you'll see yourself in these stories. First, there's Maria. Maria studies English for 2 years. She can read English articles. She can understand movies. But at work, when her boss asks her a simple question in English, she stops. She can't speak. The answer is in her head, but she just says, "Sorry, I don't know." Later, she feels so bad. Why didn't I just speak? I knew the answer. Then there's Tom. Tom wants everything to be perfect. His friend says, "Let's practice speaking English together." But Tom thinks, my pronunciation isn't perfect yet. I'll make mistakes. I need to study more first. So he keeps studying grammar, reading books, writing notes. 3 months later, he still hasn't spoken one word out loud. And finally, there's Ling. Ling watches videos of other English learners. They sound so confident, so good. And Ling thinks, I'll never sound like that. Why am I even trying? She feels bad and stops learning. Do you see yourself in any of these stories? I think most of us do. So why does this happen? Well, there are 3 main reasons. Let me explain each one. Reason 1, your inner voice. You know that voice in your head that talks to you all day long? Sometimes it helps you, but often when you want to speak English, it's not very kind. It says things like, "You're too slow. Your accent is bad. Everyone else is better than you." And the problem is, we start to believe that voice. We think it's telling us the truth, but it's not. It's just fear talking. Reason 2, wanting to be perfect. We want to speak perfect English, zero mistakes, perfect grammar, perfect pronunciation. But here's the thing. Perfect English doesn't exist. Even I make mistakes, and I'm a native speaker. Yesterday, I said something wrong to a friend. She told me, we laughed, and we kept talking. That's normal. That's how language works. But when we want to be perfect, we become too scared to even try. Reason 3. Comparing yourself to others. We look at other students and think they're better than us. We watch videos of people who speak really well and feel bad about ourselves. But everyone's learning path is different. Some people learn fast, some learn slowly, some are good at speaking, others are good at reading. All of that is completely normal. Here's what I want you to understand. These blocks, they're not real walls. They only exist in your mind. And that's actually good news, because if they're in your mind, that means you can change them. But before I show you how, I need to teach you something about your brain. Something that's going to change the way you think about learning. Okay, so here's something really cool, and I promise I'll keep this simple. Your brain is not fixed. It's not like, this is my brain, and this is all it can do. No, your brain is always changing, always growing. Your brain can grow and change. Scientists have a big word for this, but we don't need that word. What matters is this. Your brain is like a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it gets. Let me go back to that rose story, because I think it really helps you understand. When you start learning English, it's like walking through a forest where there's no road yet. You have to push through trees, step over roots, move branches. It's slow, it's tiring, it's hard. But what happens if you walk the same path every single day? After 1 week, the path starts to clear a little. After 1 month, it becomes easier to walk. After 3 months, it's a smooth road. You can walk faster. You don't have to think about it. Practice is building a road in your brain. This is exactly what happens in your brain when you practice English. Every time you say a sentence, you're building that road. Every time you repeat a word, you're making that path stronger. And after enough practice, speaking English becomes easy, natural. You don't have to think so much. Now let me make this personal for a minute. When I started learning a new language a few years ago, I was terrible. I mean, really, really bad. I tried to say simple words, and people just looked at me confused. I felt so embarrassed. I thought, maybe I'm just not good at languages. But I kept going every single day. Just simple words. At first, hello, thank you, goodbye. That's it. And you know what? After 30 days, those words became easy. After 60 days, I could say short sentences. After 90 days, I was having real conversations. 30 days, 60 days, 90 days equals progress. My brain built new roads that didn't exist before. The same thing is happening in your brain right now. Even if you don't feel it yet, every time you practice, every time you try, you're making those roads stronger. The key is doing it every day. Not being perfect, not studying for hours, just small practice every day. And that brings me to the most important part. A how. Well, how do you actually do this? Let me give you 5 ways that really work. All right, so here's where we get practical. I'm going to give you 5 ways to practice. These are simple, they're free, and you can start using them today. Strategy 1, the one-sentence method. One sentence, repeated 20 times. This is where most people get it wrong. They try to learn too much, too fast. They want to learn 50 words in a day, study for 2 hours, speak like a native speaker by next week. That's too much. That's what creates the block. So here's what I want you to do instead. Choose one sentence, just one, a simple sentence that means something to you. It could be, I am learning English. Today is a good day. I am getting better every day. I can do this. Whatever feels right for you. And then I want you to say that sentence 20 times during your day. 5 times when you wake up, 5 times during breakfast, 5 times at lunch, 5 times before bed. Now I know what you're thinking. Emma, that's so boring. Just one sentence? Yes, trust me on this, because here's what happens. When you repeat the same sentence many, many times, your brain starts to learn it deeply. It stops being something you have to think about. It becomes easy and natural. And that feeling, that's the beginning of being fluent. Let's practice. Right now, actually, I want you to say this with me, out loud if you can. If you're on a bus or somewhere with people, you can whisper it, but say it. Ready? I can speak English. Again, I can speak English. One more time, I can speak English. Good. You just practiced. That's all it takes. Small moments repeated many times. After 1 week with the same sentence, you'll notice something. It comes out of your mouth easily. You don't have to think about it. That's when you know you're ready to add a second sentence. Strategy 2, talk to yourself. Talk to yourself equals no pressure. Now, I know this sounds strange, but talking to yourself in English is one of the most powerful ways to practice. Why? Because there's no pressure. No one is listening to you. You can't make mistakes because no one else is there. Here's how you do it. During your day, just describe what you're doing or what you see in simple English. Let's say you're making breakfast. You could say, I am in the kitchen. I open the refrigerator. I take out eggs. I close the door. I turn on the stove. I break the eggs. They are cooking. It smells good. That's about 30 seconds of English practice right there. And you were just making breakfast anyway. You can do this with anything. Getting dressed, walking to work, shopping, cleaning. Just describe what you're doing in simple sentences. And here's the beautiful thing about this. The more you do it, the more natural it becomes. After a few weeks, you'll catch yourself thinking in English, not translating from your language, actually thinking in English. That's a huge step forward. Strategy 3, the 2-minute rule. Just 2 minutes every day. This is about doing it every day, not doing it for a long time. Most people think they need to practice English for 1 hour every day. That sounds good, but it's not realistic. You get busy, you get tired, you skip a day, then another day, and pretty soon you've stopped completely. So here's a better way. Practice for just 2 minutes. That's it. 2 minutes every single day. But Emma, 2 minutes isn't enough. Actually, it is, because 2 minutes every day is better than 1 hour once a week. Your brain learns better with daily practice, even if it's short. Here's a simple 2-minute practice plan. Week 1, spend those 2 minutes introducing yourself. Say 5 sentences about who you are. Your name, where you're from, what you like. Same sentences every day for a week. Week 2, talk about your day. What you did, what you ate, how you felt. Different every day, because every day is different. Week 3, ask yourself questions and answer them. What is my name? My name is. Where am I from? I am from. What do I like? I like. Just 2 minutes. Set a timer if you need to, but do it every single day. And here's what usually happens. You start with 2 minutes, and often you end up going longer because you're enjoying it. But the rule is you only have to do 2 minutes. Anything more is a bonus. Strategy 4, use free tools. You only need 3 free tools. A lot of students ask me, what app should I use? What websites? What courses? Let me make this simple for you. You only need 3 free tools. Tool 1, Google Translate. Yes, Google Translate. Not for translating long texts, but for pronunciation practice. Here's how. Type a sentence. Click the speaker icon, listen to how it sounds, then repeat it. Then use the microphone to check if you're saying it correctly. Do this with 3 sentences every day. That's it. Tool 2, YouTube. But not just any videos. Look for videos made for beginners, teachers who speak slowly and clearly. And here's the key. Don't watch different videos every day. Watch the same video 5 times. Day 1, just watch and listen. Day 2, watch and repeat after the teacher. Day 3, say it together with the video. Day 4, try saying it without the video. Day 5, teach someone else what you learned. That's how you go from just listening to actually speaking. Tool 3, language exchange apps. HelloTalk, Tandem, or similar apps. Start with text messages, then voice messages, then short calls. Build up slowly. Don't pressure yourself to have long conversations right away. Just these 3 tools. That's all you need. Strategy 5, the mistake journal. Mistakes equals your best teacher. This is my favorite way to practice, and I think it's the most powerful. Most students are scared of mistakes. They think mistakes mean they're bad at English. So they'll speak because they don't want to make mistakes. But mistakes are how you learn. Every mistake is showing you what to learn next. So here's what I want you to do. Get a small notebook, any notebook. Write My Learning Journal on the first page, and then when you make a mistake or notice something confusing, write it down. Wrong, I go to school yesterday, right? I went to school yesterday. Example, I went to the park. I went shopping. Say it 5 times out loud. That's it. Here's why this is so powerful. After 1 month, you can look back through your journal and see all the things you used to find hard that are now easy for you. That's your progress written right there on paper. Also, you'll start to see patterns. Maybe you always forget past tense or you mix up he and she. When you see the pattern, you can work on it. But the most important thing, it changes how you feel about mistakes. Instead of thinking, oh no, I messed up, you think, oh, interesting, something new to learn. That change in thinking is everything. So we've talked about ways to practice, but I want to come back to something we talked about earlier, that inner voice, because you can have all the practice methods in the world, but if your inner voice is always telling you that you're not good enough, you're going to have a hard time. So how do we change that voice? It starts with noticing. During your day, pay attention to what that voice is saying. When you try to speak English, what thoughts come up? Maybe it's, I sound stupid. I'm too slow. Everyone else is better than me. Just notice those thoughts. Don't feel bad about having them. Just notice. And then, here's the important part. When you notice a negative thought, stop for a moment. Ask yourself, is this really true, or is this just fear talking? Usually, it's just fear. And then, replace that negative thought with something more helpful. Not something fake or too positive, something real and kind. Instead of, I'm bad at English, try, I'm learning English and I'm getting better every day. Instead of, I'll never be fluent, try, being fluent takes time and I'm making progress. Instead of, I made a mistake, I'm so stupid. Try, I made a mistake. Now I know what to practice next. Small changes in how you talk to yourself make a huge difference. And here's one more thing I want you to do. Every morning when you wake up, say one positive sentence about your English learning. Something like, today I will practice English. I am proud of myself for learning. Speaking English is getting easier for me every day. I am brave enough to make mistakes and learn from them. Every day, I get a little bit better at English. Choose one that feels right for you. Say it every morning for 30 days. This isn't just thinking positive thoughts. This is training your brain. Your brain believes what you tell it many times. So tell it something helpful. All right, we've covered a lot today. So let me make this super simple for you. Here's what I want you to do in the next 7 days. So days 1, 2, 3, choose one sentence, say it 20 times a day. Talk to yourself for 2 minutes, describe what you see. Pick a morning sentence and say it when you wake up. Days 4, 5, 6, 7. Keep practicing that first sentence. Add one new sentence. Start your mistake journal. Pick one free tool, Google Translate or YouTube or HelloTalk. Use it for just 5 minutes. That's it. That's your week. Remember, you don't need to be perfect. You don't need to study for hours. You just need to show up every day, even if it's just for 2 minutes. Your brain is building those roads right now. Every time you practice, the road gets stronger. Trust the process. And here's one last thing I want you to do right now before you close this video. Go down to the comments and write one sentence in English. Any sentence. It could be, "Hello, my name." "Thank you, Emma. I'm ready to learn." Or anything else. Just one sentence. Why? Because that's an action. That's you breaking through the block right now. That's you telling yourself, "I'm serious about this. I'm doing it." And when you write that comment, you're also joining our community. Other people will see your comment and feel encouraged. You'll see their comments and feel encouraged. We're all learning together. I'll be reading the comments. I'll reply to as many as I can. You're not alone in this. We're in this together. Thank you so much for spending this time with me today. I really appreciate you being here. Remember, small steps every single day. That's the secret. That's how you break through the block. You can do this. I believe in you. I'll see you in the next video. Take care, my friends.